Good evening, all. We'll call the board meeting for the Franklin Special School District for our October meeting. Ask that you would stand and we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance. I can find, there he is, Dr. Hoag. Yeah.
Good evening, welcome to Franklin Elementary School. I'm Dr. Hoag, the principal. Thank you for standing. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right, start the evening off as we always like to with recognitions and good news awards. We'll ask Ms. Bell if she would start us off.
This is for the Franklin Special School District Student Artist of the Month. Would Izzy Brandon please come forward? I don't see her. But she's... Okay.
She will be here next month as well, so we can hold that.
Sounds good.
I beg your pardon?
That's funny. Oh, it's me?
Yeah. I'll ask Mr. Towns if he would do recognitions.
Max Hancock, are you here? We'll still talk to you about Max. Max is a former FSSD student who generously donated his time, talents, and gifts to create a beautiful butterfly garden on the grounds of Poplar Grove Elementary for all to enjoy. Max, a junior at Centennial High School, envisioned the garden as he was deciding what he could do for his Eagle Scout project. Poplar Grove principal Dr. Alicia Erickson said he was up to the task planning, designing, building, and planting a small butterfly garden in the elementary playground area. His project, completed over the summer, gives the students an opportunity to see butterflies up close and also give monarch and other butterflies a place to lay eggs, eat, and to be protected. We are grateful for Max's efforts to beautify our campus and provide an extended learning space for our students. Let's give it up for Max Hancock. How about Frida McLemore and Christine Hardiman? Are you here? Oh, good. Please come up. Last month, these two Freedom Intermediate cafeteria employees reacted to a choking student in the cafeteria with speed and expertise, providing heroic acts that most likely saved the life of a child in immediate distress. As a sixth grade student came through the serving line, he began choking on a piece of food. He went into distress and alerted those around him by hitting the serving line with his fists. Ms. McLemore and Ms. Hardiman reacted quickly. Noting that the student couldn't speak or breathe, they administered choking first aid interventions. After multiple back blows and abdominal thrusts, they were able to dislodge the food blocking the student's airway. Thank you both for intervening in a situation that could have had devastating consequences otherwise. We appreciate your selfless, life-saving actions in a very scary situation. Frida McLemore and Christine Hardiman. Yeah. Thank you so much. I saw him, Dr. Joel Hoeg. Freedom Intermediate School Principal Dr. Hoeg was recognized at last month's Tennessee Association of School Librarians Conference with the Distinguished School Administrator Award. The association pointed to Dr. Hoeg's allocation of funds to purchase books and print and digital resources for the school's library as a highlight. Also commended was his support of library media specialist Dina Wade's involvement in various school and district committees. Is Dina here? Dinah? His work with Ms. Wade to create programs to connect with the community and promote literacy, such as Level Up Reading and Look and Listen, is valuable in providing the FSSD community with knowledge about these important resources. In its presentation of the award, the association said Dr. Hoag is a champion for school libraries and librarians. He works to involve literacy in school-wide functions and ensure that all students have access to high-quality materials. Dr. Hoag. Dinah Wade and Jill Ashworth, please come up front. The Tennessee Association of School Librarians also presented these two Freedom Intermediate School teachers with a Teacher Collaboration Award. This award demonstrates the exemplary collaboration with his or her library media specialist to create a curricular-related programming unit of study or event that incorporates the library program. Ms. Ashworth and Ms. Wade collaborated to provide audiobooks along with print copies to students who needed the extra support and confidence. Upon completion of the book, the students created the Flipgrid video about their book, took an AR test, and painted a picture about the book on the library wall. Along with the award, Ms. Ashworth received a $500 prize. Dinah Wade, Jill Ashworth. Freedom Middle Cross Country Runners. The Freedom Middle School cross country team finished the season strong under head coach Matt Smith. Matt here? Runners participated in the championship run, an elite race with runners from the 12 competing middle schools across the county in the Williamson Middle Athletic Association and in the medal run. South, a race comprised of very fast runners from 6 county middle schools that compete in the southern region of the WMAA. Congratulations to the following runners. When I call your name, please run up here. Dane Bergsrud. Dane, an 8th grader, was the only Freedom Middle School runner whose average finish times throughout the season qualified him to compete in the championship race at Crockett Park on September 14th. He ran the 2-mile course with a season best 12 minutes, 29 seconds, second finish, which was 21st overall. Dane also made the 3rd team all-county cross-country team. Let's give it up for Dane. In the girls' medal round south held at Preservation Park September 14th, Margaret Swafford. Are you here, Margaret? Margaret Swafford finished the medal run in 7th place and a season best time of 16:32. Very good. Naomi Mercer. She is not here, but she finished 8th place with a season best time of 16:33. And in the boys' medal run, Davis Cox took 1st place finish with a season best time of 13:45. Very good. Miles Elam finished in 5th place. Are you here, Miles? Come on up. Finished in 5th place and a season best time of 14:2. And I know this gentleman's here, Honor Harris. Honor Harris followed 1 second later with a 6th place finish. Congratulations, team. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Okay. I'll ask. Max Hancock, did you come in? Very good. Max Hancock made it. Please come up front and center. Max is a former FSSD student who generously donated his time, talent, and gifts to create a beautiful butterfly garden on the grounds of Poplar Grove Elementary for all to enjoy. Max, now a junior at Centennial High School, envisioned the garden as he was deciding what he could do for his Eagle Scout project. Poplar Grove Elementary Principal Dr. Alicia Erickson said he was up to the task planning, designing, building, and planting of a small butterfly garden in an elementary playground area. His project, completed over the summer, gives the students an opportunity to see butterflies up close, and also give monarch and other butterflies a place to lay eggs, eat, and be protected. We are grateful for Max's efforts to beautify our campus and provide an extended learning space for our students. Once again, Max Hancock.
Thank you to all of our Good News and Recognition Awards tonight. Appreciate it as always, and we always appreciate Sonic for always helping us out with those gift cards. At this time, if there's someone for public input, we have a podium to my left. You're welcome to come up at this time. Seeing no one for public input, we declare that public input is now closed. We will go into reports and discussions. Teaching and Learning Report, Dr. Decker.
Thank you, sir. Tonight, the Teaching and Learning Spotlight illuminates the district social workers. And to bring the story of the social workers to life, would you please welcome Ms. Amanda Fisher?
Good evening. I'm Amanda Fisher, K through 8 district social worker. I work alongside Melissa Lopez, pre-K parent liaison, who is at a community networking event representing FSSD right now. We are dividing and conquering today. So I speak for both of us when we say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share about our role. Depending on the school district, the role of a school social worker can look very different. With that said, for Franklin Special School District, we do more case management and resource linkage. We use a systems approach to be the integral link between school, home, and the community, all in the effort to reduce barriers to learning. I want to also highlight that with Melissa Lopez being bilingual, she serves as an invaluable resource to the voluntary pre-K program. Melissa uses this skill to not only assist during the initial enrollment process for pre-K, but also to establish strong relationships with families to keep them engaged throughout the entire school year. Together, we accept referrals from faculty, staff, community partners, and self-referrals from parents or guardians for a variety of concerns. Examples of issues that may prompt a referral include, but aren't limited to, the need for clothing, shoes, or hygiene supplies so that a student can attend school with confidence, the need for a bed so that a student can be well rested to learn all day, the need for an after-school program to provide enrichment, homework help, and extend a parent or guardian's workday, the need for transportation so that a parent or guardian can attend and engage in IEP meetings, appointments, or conferences, the need to reduce barriers to access support for mental health concerns, as there is a clear link between mental health and academic performance, the need to stabilize housing for families experiencing homelessness in the effort to disrupt generational chains and maintain consistency at school. And the last example, the need to access physical needs like glasses or other medical equipment so that a student has more of the tools they need to learn. With all that said, this brings me to the most impactful aspect of our role, and that is being able to walk alongside families to meet those needs together. To do this, our approach is two-pronged in that we provide 1, direct services, and 2, indirect services. With providing direct services to families, you may see us on home visits, attending school meetings, or having conversations with families to help them navigate community resources and empower them to be an advocate for themselves and their family. For indirect services, we meet with the community stakeholders to advocate for the needs of Franklin Special School District community, schedule and attend agency visits to vet the quality of services before referring families, and also work to establish and grow strong community partners. We provide that through our work. We hope that through our work, we assist in creating a supportive school environment that is excellent for all. Lastly, I want to say thank you to Dr. Kirkpatrick, my boss. He is truly the best and a wonderful support. I also appreciate Dr. Decker for the invitation to highlight these efforts, and I thank the board for your time and support as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Jeremy Maxwell, street names.
If it's all right, may I come out from behind the podium?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So you may remember back in the summer we first broached the subject of naming the streets surrounding Freedom Middle School and Poplar Grove. So that's what we're here to discuss today. Should probably turn this on. All right. So why are we doing this? With the additions of the Performing Arts Center, the new softball and baseball fields, greater clarity is needed for parents, patrons, and spectators to find these new facilities. Also, giving the private drives names associated with the district or with the schools lends further clarity and a sense of ownership and uniqueness to the area around the facilities. What exactly are we talking about? This is a Google map showing the 3 drives that we're wanting to name. The first runs in front of the schools from Highway 96 all the way to Del Rio Pike. Another goes around, loops around Freedom Middle School, and the other comes behind Poplar Grove. You might notice as well, this is a Google map. The address shows here the Performing Arts Center right here, when it's actually right here. So hopefully that gets addressed soon as well. I noticed this driving across 4th Avenue downtown Franklin. This is the type of signage that would be erected if we chose to move forward with this. It's a blue sign. I actually like what they did here because they included the logo over on one side. I think that's kind of cool. But it can be erected on top of a stop sign or it could be its own standalone sign. From the city, they just request that it's a blue sign that indicates a private drive. So what's our process? So after a discussion with a representative from the Franklin Building and Neighborhoods Department and internal discussions with Dr. Snowden, Dr. Decker, and Dr. Esslinger, the question of whether or not to pursue the process of naming the private drives was raised by Dr. Snowden and approved by the FSSD board. You remember, you were there. Leadership was made responsible for naming the drive in front of the schools and the PAC. Freedom Middle School is responsible for naming the drive behind their school, and Poplar Grove is responsible for naming the drive behind their school. The top 3 suggested names of each street are then presented to the board for your review and discussion. Once they are approved, the names will be submitted to the Franklin Building and Neighborhoods Department for city approval, and then the Postmaster General and 911 services will also be notified. What was the criteria? Street names obviously cannot already exist in Williamson County. Must be clear, easy to understand. Sorry, board member council, but no naming after individuals. This does not mean that we cannot do this in the future, but for the sake of simplifying the process, we're not doing that now. I have multiple names submitted in case one or more are unapproved, and again, from the city, signage must be blue. So for naming the drive that runs in front of the schools in the pack, leadership at a meeting brainstormed potential names, then added to the list through a Google Doc, and then another Google Doc was formed where each member was allowed 3 votes on a list of approximately 30 names. At FMS, a Google Doc was used for teachers and staff to submit proposed names. Then they submitted the top 3 suggestions that met the criteria. At Poplar Grove, same thing. Used a Google Doc for teachers and staff to submit proposed names. The top 3 suggestions were submitted, and it is noted that Treadway was a crowd favorite. Okay, the names. Top 3 for the main drive. Number 1, we have Excellence Way. Number 2, Excellence Avenue. And number 3, Be Nice Drive. Behind Freedom, we have Freedom Circle. Number 2, Stars Boulevard. And number 3, Stars Way. And behind Poplar Grove Pass. Number 2, Pride Drive. And number 3, Pride Lane. I should note that the top names were originally submitted for each of these all ended in Drive. Excellence Drive, Freedom Drive, Poplar Grove Drive, and we thought that perhaps we could be a bit more creative than that. So after discussions with the principals, we got a little bit more creative. The issue of costs was raised when this subject was approached back in the summer, so I wanted to address that. Again, there is no cost for applying to the city for their approval. The only cost comes out of the signage. After doing some investigating online, each sign costs about $50 to $100 each, depending on the size of the sign, the number of characters in that sign, and whether or not we want to include a logo. About 6 signs would be needed. There are 4 internal intersections in the area, and then 1 each at Del Rio and Highway 96. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Questions?
I mean, I know we didn't want to have Townsville Drive, but was there a reason we didn't want to utilize a name? I mean, I'll just be honest, I was kind of looking for a Snowden in there with all the support you've given this district for so many years. But was there a reason we chose not to use a named drive from an individual? We've named other things for individuals. I know you wouldn't want to do that, Dr. Snowden, but I would.
There is a process in the board policy for naming buildings and such after individuals. It didn't specifically address streets, but I'm unsure of process, but that could potentially be addressed.
I like the names that were picked. I just would have loved to be able to do that too.
I don't think you're alone. Any other questions?
Thank you for the exhaustive process.
Thank you. Yeah.
So at our next meeting, is a November meeting, we would like to ask the board to approve these. It's not on the agenda to vote tonight. So if you have any recommended changes or whatever, we'd like for you to bring them forth tonight. And if not, these names will be brought to you on the agenda at the next meeting. I mean, we could add some or change something out later, but since everybody would need to know, and it'd be nice if you had some suggestions or changes. If not, you'll see these in November.
Are these, can I ask a question? Are these in order of the favorite names that were picked, 1 through 3? Or are these just 3 names? Do you send all 3 to the city and they finally they get the final vote?
Yes, you would send all 3 to the city. And if I checked them against the database that currently exists in Williams Williamson County, and all of the names do qualify for their standards. So none of them already exist in Williamson County anywhere.
But the city would pick the final name, or could we say we prefer one, or we prefer
Yes,
this one?
They
and
would take our top choice.
Okay, and this would be an address then
Yes.
for those centers, okay.
Yep.
Are we anticipating a celebration of some sort?
I would love a celebration.
We're all about some celebrations.
If the right street name were chosen, I can guarantee a celebration.
What name was that, Mr. Townsend?
Townsville Way?
Did that come with a donation, a significant donation?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jeremy. We'll move on to our construction report and also our energy management update, which will both be done by Dr. Esslinger.
Good evening, everyone. Before you in your board packet, you have your monthly update on the bond-funded capital projects that we currently have underway. If you have any questions or need any clarification, I'd be glad to entertain anything at this time.
I noticed the final punch list for the ball fields was done on October 7th.
Correct.
Are we still preparing for the November 4th at
Yes,
3
ma'am.
p.m.? Okay, great. Thank you.
There are a few items yet to be installed. I think, has the netting gone up yet? There's pads around the backstop that just haven't come in on order yet, but they're a quick install. So yes, ma'am, we're still looking forward to November 4th.
Thank you.
No other questions? The board also has, before it has been provided with an energy management report for your review. Due to the in-house conservation measures that have been in place for several years, the behavior changes through the energy education program, and the highly efficient HVAC and kitchen equipment, we believe it's no longer necessary to continue with the original energy education program as it was originally designed. Additionally, with 4 of our 8 schools now using building automation software to manage their HVAC systems, the new square footage recently added, and the installation of new, highly efficient equipment, continued comparisons to the year of 2010 usage and costs have become somewhat irrelevant. The FSSD will continue to maintain our focus on energy management and recommended the following modifications to our efforts. The energy specialist will no longer perform physical after-hour energy audits, nor keep data in the synergistic management software. Discontinued use of this software will result in around a $6,000 savings annually. The FSSD energy specialist will maintain a district focus on energy conservation by communicating the importance of energy conservation via email reminders of operational guidelines and shutdown expectations prior to breaks, as well as publishing a biannual newsletter reporting usage by school and by district. Continue current operational and shutdown guidelines put in place during COVID have proven to be as or more efficient as pre-COVID guidelines. The FSSD facility supervisor will continue to track and review monthly costs and usage for all utilities. The FSSD energy specialist will continue to communicate operational and shutdown guidelines to schools at appropriate times, will publish a biannual energy management newsletter in January and July reporting usage by district and school, and be the central point of contact for scheduling and support of all HVAC building automation software. He will also manage keypad control access district-wide. Any questions regarding that change? Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Moving on to approval of board agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the board agenda.
All right, is there a second?
I second.
All right, all in favor? It's Approved. Approval of consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? All right. Business before the board. Dr. Snowden.
Yes, thank you. First item under consideration is resolution authorizing the issuance of limited tax school improvement bonds. As you recall, our private acts were amended in 2021. That amendment allowed the school district to issue an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $45 million. The board approved the issuance in the principal amount of $19,185,000 in May of 2021. The resolution before you would authorize the issuance of limited tax school improvement bonds for the FSSD in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $25,815,000. Whit Maloney from Piper Sandler is here tonight to answer any questions related to the issuance of these bonds. The administration recommends approval.
All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Any questions for Mr. Witt? Not, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Blair, yes. Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Newman?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Passes.
Item number 2, Central Office Complex Phase 1B, GMP, Guaranteed Maximum Price. Amendment number 2 includes $3,609,228 for Phase 1B of the Central Office Complex, labeled Facilities and Transportation Center. This is for the interior of that building. The administration recommends approval. Also, we have representatives from Nabholz. Mr. Strack is here to answer any questions.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Okay.
Second. Is there a discussion?
I just had a question.
Is the $3,609,000 the guaranteed maximum price for the interior?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we have a roll call vote. Ms. Newman?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Blair, yes. Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Passes.
Item number 3 is ESSER 3.0 Public Plan for Remaining Funds 22-23. All 3 of these next items concern our ESSER 3.0 funding and needs the board's final consent. The first is the public plan for remaining funds, addendum guidance. We recommend approval.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there a discussion? Seeing none, let us roll call vote. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Blair, yes. Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Newman?
Yes.
Passes. Thank you.
I didn't mention, but this plan also, or the public plan, has to be renewed every 6 months, so you'll see this again. Item 4, safe return to in-person instruction and continuity of services plan addendum guidance for 22-23. This document needs to be approved prior to posting on our website. LEAs are required to update the safe return to in-person instruction and continuity of services plan every 6 months. The administration recommends approval.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
Motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Is there a discussion?
Part of ESSER, this plan? It is?
It is.
It doesn't relate to money, though. It's just we have to have this in place because we have ESSER? Okay.
Motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Passes.
Item number 5 is FY23 ESSER 2.0 and ESSER 3.0 application for board approval for the school year 22-23. This application is formal approval by the board for the ESSER budgets. The addendum documents the board has reviewed and voted on prior includes the breakdown of the budgets for the remaining funds in both 2.0 and 3.0 for ESSER. All planning documents but the final sign-off have been submitted online and have moved through state approval and now require full board action, or full board approval rather, to move forward. The administration recommends approval.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion, is there a second?
I second.
Second. Is there discussion? No discussion. Let us roll call vote. Ms. Newman?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Blair, yes. Ms. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Passes.
While we're finishing up with those three items from ESSER, I wanted to recognize Dr. Pax Weimers. He is our ESSER expert and provides all kinds of information related to that and keeps the reports going. And he and Ms. I was about to say Ragsdale, it was Ragsdale Dixon. They work together to the reporting process. So really appreciate the work of both Dr. Weimers and Ms. Dixon in the ESSER funding process.
Thank you both.
Item number 6, policy revision, grading systems 4.600. This is a second reading. Revisions update the introductory wording by outlining administrative procedure and responsibility in the evaluation and recording of student progress. In addition, this policy is updated based on the new grading scale for high school courses that the WCS board adopted in their board policy 4.600. This applies to our high school courses taken at the middle school level, algebra, geometry, languages. In these courses, students may receive high school honors credit by passing a grade of 70 or above both semesters of the course. In addition, the honors courses that are taught at high school level, teachers will add 3 percentage points to each grading period and each midterm and final exam. These courses will be included in the calculation toward the WCS honors diploma. One update was made for the second reading on page 2, line 21. 70 was changed to 60. There were no changes requested by the board in the first reading. We recommend approval of second reading.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion, is there a second? Second. Is there a discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Since I wasn't here last week, so I just want to make sure I understand when I read it. The grades 5 through 8 subject areas grading scale is different than the high school grading scale of honors classes, or no?
It'll be the same.
They're the
Dr.
same.
Decker, is it
Doesn't-
The high school credit courses do have a different grading scale.
yeah, that'll be the same as Williamson County.
But different from our normal 5 through 8 grading scale if
Yes.
you're not taking a high school class. Okay.
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure I was reading that correctly.
Any other discussion? Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Passes.
Item number 7, policy revision, student assignment 6.205. This is also a second reading. Revisions are to bring the policy to our current practice. There were no changes requested by the board. Upon first reading, the administration recommends approval of the second reading.
Thank you, sir. Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Now, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes. Thank you.
Item number 8, policy revision, promotion and retention 4.603. This is a first reading. TSBA has provided policy update recommendations based on a new state law which will impact students this school year. Quoted from TSBA, the State Board of Education has updated a regulation that goes into more detail on the process. In particular, districts should be aware of the required contents of promotion plans involving a special education staff when appropriate and the criteria for retention decisions. While much focus has been placed on 3rd and 4th graders, TSBA encourages district staff to review the process for all students, as it is important to understand how this policy applies at different grade levels. Administration recommends the approval of first reading.
All right, thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve first reading, waive second.
Mr. Townsend? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Ms. Bell. Is there a discussion?
I mean, I think it's a complicated policy. I don't know if I want to approve it on first reading unless we have to, because it lines up exactly with the state law.
Yes,
It does. It's a lot in here.
it is a lot.
Okay,
Thanks to our legislature.
I know.
Oh,
So it is
always.
not, it's a little confusing that at one point it says there's some criteria you have to look at, but as you read further down, there's actually not a lot of things to consider. Is that correct?
And this, yes, and this may
Okay.
change
Right.
in the new legislative session. We would like to be optimistic about that, but at this point, this is the law.
Okay. Then I would say let's go ahead and do it on first reading.
on first reading, waive first, and approve on second?
If we have to, if it's state law. I mean, we don't have to because we're not going to do anything till February, correct? If we don't identify this decision. We could read it through again. I'm not saying we can't approve it on first reading if we feel like it follows the laws. If that's what you're are you recommending approval on first reading?
I mean, that's totally up to the board. We didn't see any problem with doing that because we do have to, I mean, that is what we have to do.
Yeah, we gotta follow it.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion to waive first and pass on second? All in favor? Passes. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Director of Schools report. Everyone enjoyed a fall break last week. I'm not certain if employees didn't need it more than the students, but I think I'm pretty positive students and employees enjoyed the opportunity to be away for a few days, or whether they had a staycation or they went somewhere else. FSSD Parks and Rec baseball and softball complex ribbon cutting, that was mentioned earlier. That ribbon cutting is scheduled for November the 4th, beginning at 3 p.m., and we certainly hope your schedule as board members will allow you to attend. A remote learning drill on October the 25th. Our families have been notified by Blackboard Connect that to be in compliance with the new Tennessee law, we will be conducting a remote learning drill on Tuesday, October 25th to ensure that schools, students, and parents and guardians can easily transition from in-person to remote learning in the event of an emergency. As part of the drill, all K-8 students will take home their assigned tablet or laptop and will be asked to complete a simple digital assignment on the device. Teachers will practice this task at schools with students ahead of the drill so they understand the expectations. JA Finance Park replacing Career Quest. I think this was mentioned before as well in an email from me to you. The basics of this program was previously provided, and then our 8th graders will experience career exploration and financial literacy aligned to numerous 8th grade Tennessee social studies, ELA, English Language Arts, math and guidance standards during the dates of December the 2nd through the 8th. Additionally, our 8th graders will visit their zoned high schools during the spring to tour CTE classes and also learn about the WCS Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center. Partnering with these opportunities are Innovative Schools model grants we're seeking for both Freedom Middle and Poplar Grove Middle to further ensure success of our students transitioning to similar high school programs. We're excited to have our students experience each of these changes as we move through the year and beyond. And then we also provide you a list of conferences and meeting updates. So if you'll let Ms. Reardon know if of your intentions to attend any of those conferences, that would be appreciated. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Dr. Snowden? If not, updates. Dr. Decker, teaching and learning.
Nothing additional, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Esslinger.
Yes, your packets have our monthly HR and financial reports for your review. Sales tax collection report reflects a 2.2% decrease over the same time period last fiscal year.
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the board at this time?
Just a reminder for the Tennessee School Board Association. Kevin, you said yes to being a delegate. Robin? No.
Me.
Sorry, Kevin, Alicia, and myself. We're all three going to be delegates for that. So.
If you name the street after me.
And then Robin and I will do the leadership conference.
Any other comments from the board? If not, we are adjourned.